Hello, how friends? I think I'm streaming. I think I'd have got the hang of this by now, wouldn't you? Yeah, I just thought I would stream, probably not for very long, like an hour or so. Just finishing off the vampire quest, essentially. I got the other bit of blood, the other pot of blood that I needed, and turned that in. To be honest with you, it wasn't any better the second time. Even plonking myself in the corner. I think the issue probably was just the animal handling. Like, I was in a dungeon yesterday, and the pathing for animal handling, it's always been kind of really bad, and it still seems to be really bad, so yeah. My pet just kept running outside of the tower, despite I think I kind of worked out that maybe if you put the pet on, just don't do anything at all, it stays where it is. But he would just, like, you'd kind of try and direct him to attack a mob, but he would just run to the next mob that damaged him, essentially. Or the one that was hard, despite trying to control him, whatever was highest on his kind of hate list. And I think that's always been an issue with controlling pets. As I was in a dungeon yesterday, and I was asking him to attack a mob, and he would just run off. Yeah, well, it just seems to be working in certain areas. The pets don't work very well still. There you go. But I got the second pot of morning, everyone. How you doing? I got the second pot of blood. Turned that in, and then I needed this item here. Missing hematic lens for the second part of the quest, which I think is the final bit to become a vampire. Unfortunately, it kind of cleared me out. Like, I was like the mob that you need to kill is like a boss mob, and I kind of asked a couple of times, but I'm not sure. It didn't seem as though it's like kind of like I've run out of my food, and my snacks have gone, so my stamina regen is in the toilet. Yeah, I asked a couple of times, but it doesn't seem as though it's maybe a thing where people kill it that often. But I found one for sale. Like, I've literally been looking for the last 3 or 4 days, and I found one today. But it did clear me out, and I'm not sure it was the right thing to do, really, because at my level, things in the game just cost so much money. But it is what it is. I mean, the only reason I kind of come back, I'm playing really, is because of Vampire. As I said, it was a skill that I heard about years ago when they were talking about it. And I didn't ever really think it would be included, but it was included, and a little while ago. So it's the only reason I come back. So at the end of the day, it's in-game currency, right? So who cares? I'm not really sure how. I've been keeping an eye. I had to turn off the general chat because it's just, people kind of say that, where like people go, oh, like WoW lol, or New World lol or something, with regards to the community and stuff. But really, in these like classic MMOs, classic inspired MMOs, the community is not any better, really, if people are being honest with themselves. I think it's just a nostalgic thing that they don't shut up. There's a lot of people. There's a few players who like veterans who, they kind of want to be like a face, and they want everyone to know who they are and stuff. And I don't think I've got any of these left. And then you've just got the people that it's funny, like how people say that they're like, you get some people say, like, I'm not very good online, particularly typing online. Like, I've kind of got like Asperger's-y stuff, and I find social interactions quite difficult because sometimes I'll say, or quite often I'll type the wrong thing. For some reason, it's more about like being on a forum or something and typing stuff. When I read it back afterwards, it sounds a bit like I was being an arse, but I wasn't. But that's kind of just how it works. And the thing that annoys me the most is where like veteran players and stuff, because they've, as I said, because they've developed some parasocial relationship with the game, they just can't help but like they can't see any fault in it at all. So what I've seen happening quite a lot over the last few days since the game's been released is that there are people who are just generally getting a bit fed up with it. I've seen more and more people are complaining about the game just being too obtuse. It doesn't give you... There's a difference between not giving you any information and at least giving you hints that might point you in the right direction. And I do agree with that. I've seen more and more people criticising systems now they're implemented and how it works and whatnot. And you, rather than just kind of, I don't know, like maybe trying to answer the question, maybe in the context of their problem, just to help them out. It's just a pretty kind of like negative, toxic response. That it's not the game's fault, it's your fault. It's always the player's fault. It's never the game's fault. And I've seen it more and more. It's kind of why, like a few days ago, I said I think the game is probably going to end up. I think the population drop off will be quite quick, because I kind of feel that a lot of people will realise that the game, from a time investment point of view, and how obscure systems are and how they've been implemented, I just think people will just go, like, I just don't have the time for this really. Because when you what you have to remember with this game is that simply going to a vendor and selling something is not that simple. And I don't mean you have to find the right vendor. I mean, when you go to a vendor, so I'll give you an example. There's a guy that I spent some time increasing the favour just so I could sell jewellery items to him that dropped, like just drop mobs. But to do that, I had to invest time in increasing my favour with him, so he would give me the full amount for an item that I was selling to him, and so that he would actually kind of buy the stuff from me. And that's the same for every vendor. So you can't just go to a vendor and sell stuff. You can, but you won't get anywhere near probably what it's worth unless you increase favour with them. Increasing favour increases, because vendors also have like a weekly limit as to how much money is worth of goods you can sell to them. So increasing favour increases that as well, I believe. So I think when people, like when someone like me says the game is incredibly grindy, we're not just talking about leveling. You know, like so if you want to be a mage, for example, you will also, as well as costing you a lot of money as you go along, you will need to increase favour with your trainer. So that's another job you've got to do. And then, I mean, I've come across some NPCs where I just didn't increase favour with them, because it was just too much of a ball ache. You know, to increase favour with them, you kind of had to almost the thing that would cost you the less money would mean that you had to raise another skill to kind of like make stuff to give to them to increase their favour. Like for your storage, for your bank storage space in a town, you have to increase favour with an NPC to increase your storage space. You know, so when we talk about grindy, you know, that's the level of it. And some of them are easy. So like the NPC that I gave you the example of, who I sell my jewellery to, you basically just give him jewellery to increase favour. So basically, for the first period of time where you're going in a dungeon, killing mobs and getting drops, you're not making any money. You're just giving him the jewellery to increase favour, and then eventually you get to a point where your favour's high enough with him, so it's worth selling stuff, and you get the full amount for it. But some of the stuff that you need to raise favour with people, again, is like really obscure. It's really difficult or really grindy to get. It's I mean, I wasn't joking when I said that out of the 900 hours-ish like time that I've played, like a quarter of that time was spent like just unlocking a couple of skills, because I was stubborn and I wanted to do it. You know, looking back, I probably wasn't worth the effort, but I think that's what we're kind of talking about. It's Like Project Gorgon is kind of unique in many aspects, and it's brilliant in many aspects. But I just don't think that the vast majority of people currently playing it will. I think that eventually they'll realise that they just don't have the time to invest that you need. There are some skills that you're leveling up, but then you realise you have to kind of level another skill to get the real benefits of the skill and stuff. There's lots of crossovers in that way. I'm just about to fall out of the sky, I think. So yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about. I think I've come the wrong way. Yeah, it's incredibly flexible, but it just requires too much work. I think even for someone who's got a reasonable amount of time to play, I don't think I want to go this way. Let's have a look. Even for someone who's got like a reasonable amount of time to play and likes retro MMOs, it is like literally everything you need to do. Even selling stuff to a vendor turns into like a grind. I think it's kind of. I think it's a combination of things. I think it's old players coming back to try it. I think it's players who maybe looked at it but were unsure about it. But now it's been released. Maybe they think it's done, finished already. And also, I just think it's a new shiny, isn't it? I think a lot of people. I said this on a previous stream. I think there's just a lot of people who are looking to recreate how they felt when they played a classic MMO back in the day. But I think the reality for for most people is that they just don't really have the time. So they're almost kind of like looking for maybe one, looking for an MMO that. Where do I need to go? Oh, okay, we'll go this way then. I think that's probably what it is. But it's like all the MMOs, I think we've seen it. I'm just repeating what I've said in other thingy, but other streams. But it's yeah, I think that's it as well, Liz, isn't it? It's like, I get it all the. I mean, like I'm playing. I've been playing like P99 a lot, but sometimes I go through periods where I don't play it at all. But then I watch a stream and I think, I want to play it again, kind of thing. I'm just going to warm myself up. There are some obnoxious things as well, that are not easy to deal with. So like yesterday I was just in the dungeon. There was me and a guy in a dungeon, so we grouped up and we did some stuff, and we thought, we'll kill this boss, but we didn't really know anything about the boss. It turned out to be like on paper, looking at his numbers, it looked like we could win, but it turned out not, right, which is fair enough. But the problem is that if you, like many bosses, if they kill you, then you get a permanent curse. So I've now got a permanent curse, Baruti's curse, and his curse is that I get all 4 of the mummy curses at the same time. And the only way I can get rid of it is to try and find a group of people to go and kill him. Which, like, why would you? It's in this zone, Gazlook, which is like, it's not a very hospitable zone. Unless you're going to that dungeon, I don't quite know why you'd want to go there anyway. So it's either that, or you've got it permanently. There is a thing called a minor panacea that you can buy, but that's like 20,000 gold, So it's things like that. I mean, on the face of it, like, there are so many ideas I see in MMOs that, like, if you're sitting in a boardroom and someone's got a whiteboard and they say, look, what about if our bosses give like a permanent curse and you keep it until you kill it again? And initially I think, that sounds like, I actually think that's a pretty cool idea. But then it's how it's implemented, and a lot of the curses are just really horrible. And if you can't get rid of them, it is a real drag. Like, first of all, and then it's the fact that if there's not enough, I mean, at the moment there is, right? But if you can imagine, like when I used to log into Project Gorgon, the average people, the average of the people logged in playing the game at the same time was like 60 or 70, you know. So it's like, how do you? It's a bit like Embers Adrift now, where there's not enough people playing the game to interact with many of the systems that are designed around like groups of people. There's just not enough people online. So yeah, so it's not that I didn't think. So again, oh, piss off, fucking hell. It's funny. I had a couple of people kind of. It's weird. It's weird in a game, you know, where people kind of send you a little tell or a message, agreeing with some stuff you say about a game, but they're scared to say it publicly on the Discord or whatever, in case, because they're scared they're going to get banned or something. I mean, that's not a healthy situation, I don't think, for a game to be in, really. But it's the same in game as well. As I said, I've turned off the chat generally because even when people point out criticisms that seem pretty just in a reasonable way, they just get shouted down. So, you know, it's just a yeah. But like things like there are many ideas that are implemented just badly. Like I don't think that, as I said, maybe it might sound good on paper, or player gets killed by a boss and they get like a debuff and it's permanent till they kill the boss. That all sounds fine until you take into consideration maybe what the debuff is, right? If it's too harsh, it just makes the game unfun. And then if you can't get a group together, to kill the boss, to remove the curse, then you're just kind of stuck with it. Yeah, and I think in some ways it's a good idea, but it only works if the game has got a population enough to actually operate as an MMO, and a lot of these games don't have. I mean, this game does at the moment, but as I said before the 1.0 release, when I was logging in, which I'm going to play off peak, right? But there's like less than 100 people. That's not. In some cases, it used to be like 50 or 60. That's not really. Particularly if a game is really group orientated, doesn't really seem. That's not a viable population number to play as an MMO, I don't think. It's like the last time I played Embers Adrift, I was logging in and there was like 15, 20 people on. It's not, you know, it's not manageable numbers for an MMO where there's content that requires you to be a group. I'm not sure about the whole grouping to get rid of punishments anyway. Like grouping for raid content to get good items or the best items or to kill the dragon or whatever is fine, but I think getting punished and then not being able to remove the curse is... And it wasn't like through... I was also went through lack of trying. Not me, because I had to kind of go semi-AFK, but the guy I was with, obviously, he also got the curse. And I saw him in chat, like, asking for help, and he didn't get any, you know, so it's not like... It's funny, though, because you get, like, while he was asking it, while he was asking for help, you'd get all these... like veteran players in the chat, you know, telling people that they're wrong about whatever. But like, not one of the veteran players kind of offered to help him. I mean, I wasn't even there, so it wouldn't have helped me. But not one of them kind of really offered to help him. One person said, like, I would help, but my damage is not very good there against that mob. It's like, well, you know, who cares? Like, neither was ours really, but at least you're helping. Yeah, it's that was the irony of the community, is that like a little while before you got people having a little bit of a moan in the chat, and you got all these veterans going, "Oh, it's you know, go play WoW," sort of comments, and then someone was asking for help, and it was just silence. You know, I think that kind of tells you a lot about. Yeah, I'm just not sure if if punishing people and then expecting them to be able to find however many people they need to remove the punishment is just good design. But that's just me, you know. I didn't really want to do that. Oh yeah, of course. But it is what it is, you know. I mean, it's a game where the game is very much set in its ways, you know, and it's one of those situations where any game, any indie game, as I've said before, you know, where people have been privileged enough to yeah, I think like I think there's some content where you should have to do that. Obviously, like you shouldn't be able to kill the dragon on your own, but I think punishing a player and then you're just hoping you can find a group of people to turn up in an out of the way location to help you, which I don't know what happened. I mean, I was logged in for a little while afterwards, and I think at one point the guy I was grouped with actually offered to pay money for someone to come over, but there was just silence in the chat. You know, I don't know. Like, maybe he got maybe someone did a tell or something or whatever. I'm not sure, but yeah. Gonna fall out of the sky again. It's interesting because a couple of people mentioned to me about how annoying the mob density is in areas and the aggro range as well. How it's just like it doesn't. It's not logical first of all, and then it's just a random assortment of mobs everywhere. So you're constantly, you know. Anyway, I'm moaning again. You know, like the vampire quest thing that I've had to do. I've quite enjoyed it. Like I thought some of the combat mechanics for the blood thing were a bit rubbish, and like I'm not sure about kind of gating off a class. Like even if it's supposed to be like an advanced class or whatever, like gating off a class behind a high level mob. Like almost like a raid boss mob. I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not. Yeah, I think what we was talking about with EverQuest the other day, when I was streaming a couple of days ago, is that like when I log in to play EverQuest, it's one of its attractions is just its simplicity. It doesn't have loads of convoluted systems in the way of you enjoying the game, apart from death and a bit of travel. But these like more modern interpretations of classic MMOs just seem to have so many systems in the way of you just enjoying the game. I don't mind if they're like horizontal. I don't mind if it's horizontal progression, but when these systems actually get in the way of you enjoying the game, EverQuest and other games like Ultra Online never had it. Yeah. Anyway. Right, where do I need to go? I think it's up here. This is a lovely, well-designed zone, by the way. I really like this one. There seems to be a story behind it as well, with some sort of demonic invasion, but I haven't looked into it too much yet. I need to find a medieval-looking tower where the vampire is. Just over there. I think as well, as I said, I think that I think that the classic games pretty much nailed it. I don't really think you need to do much to their design. I can understand you wanting to implement your own systems, your own skills or whatever, but I think in general, with regards to a general overall feel when you're playing the game, there's very little in the way of you. There's very little in the way of you. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think what EverQuest did was it just really focused on the combat, didn't it? I think. I mean, there's some other amazing systems as well, like the faction system and all that kind of stuff. But the combat is really the sandboxiness of the combat and the level design and like mob AI and stuff. I think is really where it all works. And there's nothing in the way of that. Like, you don't have to keep going back to town to repair your items or whatever other systems in the way, you know. Okay. I'm actually considering for the first time in a while to I think part of the problem, not really, like considering how long the game's been out, it's still like I think a lot of it is to do with the population. So if I go to Serbil around the well, like I get 30 frames a second, and I've got like a 5090, you know, and a 16-core CPU, which I mean, there's, you know, for a lot of games, cores don't really seem to be much of a thing anyway. Like here, I just get 60, but where the population's heavy, it does go down a lot. A lot of people have been saying that the optimization's still bad, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Oh, he just took it off me. That's the other thing as well. I've noticed some quests, you talk to the NPC and there's not an option to give them what that you've brought to them. It just auto does it. So I guess, I don't know, am I going to be a vampire now? Let's find out. Okay. Okay, I'll become a vampire. Next step is painful. Fair enough. Drawing blood and replacing it with his own, that's the old-fashioned way. So what you have to remember is that there are some combat quests in the game where once you accept them, that's kind of it. It's very hard to get rid of them. Some of them you can't get rid of. Some of them have downsides like vampires and stuff. So it's just a. I mean, this character, unfortunately, I just went ahead and unlocked most of those things. But you know, it's and it hasn't really been too much of an issue. I think the big thing with vampires. Let's do it. Even to the Truxartis might not have been entirely forthcoming about the downsides of vampirism. You recall vampires having significant problems in sunlight, for example. I think at the moment there is a reasonably easy way to get rid of vampirism, but I think there's something that saw someone say they might remove or something, so I'm not sure. I'm not deterred. It's the only way. It's the only reason I'm here. Okay. What do you mean? Nothing happened. Huzzah! Time to terrorise the mortals. Okay. So, okay. I feel weak. I'm not quite sure why I feel weak. I have to do a favour for him. Training. Okay. Oh, I wonder what does vampirism. Okay. Oh, maybe it's something to do with the. So what skills have we got? Vampirism, overwhelming bite, which is just general one. Withering shroud. Dominate. I quite like the looks of this one. I looked at the skills. It's like a moment. It's like a small thingy charm. Nice one, mate. Yeah. Embrace of despair. Teleport to your target and ensorcel them, sapping their will. Anyway. Oh, nice. Okay. 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 I've got a new stat here. Blood. So I've got some blood and I've got some. The well is working, but I can't get any more blood at the moment. Fair enough. Okay, so your abilities don't use blood, which is good. I guess. And I've got some blood. Okay. Now I saw the other day. I saw some people talk. Someone asked what mobs are dropping blood today. I don't fit in the coffin. So is there a no? Is there any? Did I gain any? No, I don't think I gained any. Okay, so this is. I enjoy discovering things, but there's a certain level where I've now got no idea what's going on. So I become a vampire. I understand that the sun that does me damage. That's fine. I don't mind that as a punishment. You know, most zones have dungeons in, so you know, if you want to travel to town, wait until the night time, spend some time in a dungeon first of all, that kind of stuff. But there's no explanation of the blood, what it does. I didn't get any information from Nubus here. He looks like he will give me blood if I do a favour for him. Lost strength. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so I've got some quests. Cool. Two of them I know, and the Eltable dungeon thing he's talking about, and there's a dungeon in Sir Buell as well, which he's talking about. What's the time? So now I've got to be worried about what the time is. I'm not sure what the blood does, you see. I'm not sure if it's like it kind of protects you against the sun, maybe, or something for a period of time, or it's 2 a.m. Okay, fair enough. So I'm literally at the moment a vampire, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to stay giant vampire. Actually, I might try and pair some other skills with the vampire, but we'll see. So there's a crystal wall. There's some of these lakes. I think some of these lakes was where I got this debuff as well. I've got another permanent debuff that I can't go and get rid of. It's not too bad at the moment, but I don't want to get stacks of it. It looks like a big lake over there, so let's go and check it out. I think when you bring up systems and you discuss them, people just think that you, like quite often, there'll be the people who just think that you've never played like EverQuest before or something, and you just want it all given to you on a plate. But like the sun, like avoiding the sun, for example, it's like it's going to be a bit of an inconvenience. Some people wouldn't like that. They wouldn't become a vampire because of that. But I think that's fine if it's something that I can overcome myself while still enjoying the game. Then I think often it's just more about how the systems are implemented. As I said, like a boss debuff is fine, but how horrible is the debuff and how easy is it to get rid of? I think that's the. Does this look like a lake? I thought we might as well come and do this one first. Might be too low level for this one because I don't know if there's a lot of mobs hanging around. What is that there? Demon Scout. Might be a bit dark at the moment. I do apologise for that. In fact, probably things are going to be very dark for me from now on, I would say. That's not a lake, is it? It's more like a crater. Is there something else that looks like a lake? Yeah, is that a lake? Would you say that was a lake? I don't know. I don't know if that's a lake or not, Apparently the dude's servant is run off and he's hanging around a lake. I don't know. Maybe it is. We're not going to mess with that at the moment, though. I think what we'll do is we'll get to Eltable while it's still night time before the sun comes up. Hopefully I'll get to this perch or probably die. I think I'm going to die here. 50, 40, 30, 20. Ooh. Ooh. We made it. Poor old bat. It's okay. He's 20-foot wingspan. For some reason, he's not very good at picking up thermals and things, so he can't fly very far. I don't think they're the lakes, so I guess it's over there, but we'll leave that for now. Anyway, there's a quest where I've got to go and find... Oh, there's a lake, maybe. I've got to go and find a quest. I've got to go and find that might be a lake over there, actually. You can see kind of water now, can't you? Oh, well. Is this a teleportation? No, it's a meditation thing. I'm faffing about. What I should be doing is teleporting, if I can. But no, I'm fucking around. Is that a meditation? Yeah. Oops, I'm going to crash. Crash. Let's hope I've got... Okay. Actually, nope. Let's do my animal teleport instead. I wonder if the animals... I don't know if people treat me differently because I'm a vampire now as well. That's the other thing. Let's go and see if I can still use my my storage. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. What I want to check is let's see what this blood does. So it says click to use. So cool. Okay, so I've used one. I've got 25 blood. So I know I've still got, you know, 475 blood or whatever it is, whatever the maths are. Okay, I don't know what the blood does yet. I've heard people talk about it. It's 3 AM, so we will go. Not sure how people feel about these kind of, you know, playing a class where you get kind of restrictions and stuff. It's, I guess it's kind of similar to Oblivion in that way, or the Elder Scrolls games. Like, you can be a werewolf. Like my character's a werewolf as well. And during the full moon in IRL, then you're a werewolf permanently in the game, which again is another cool idea. When I did that quest, though, I'm not actually sure if they told me what the drawback was. But I think with that particular one, you catch like a disease off of something, a mob, and then over time you become a werewolf, I think. I kept thinking about starting a new character on a new server. I don't know. I was kind of thinking about how I'd go about it, really. I'd probably have if I was really going to invest time, then I would probably have a list of key NPCs, like you know, like the storage ones to increase favour with, and to sell stuff, and then maybe just try. No, I've never done this before, but just try and stick with a couple of skills, combat skills. You know, just try and master those. This guy's been a spider before, and I think he might still have the spider form on him, but because kind of forms can overwrite each other, animal forms, I think. So you get rid of one, and so I'm sure it's happened to me before where you don't necessarily become human, you just go right down to the previous animal form where you were. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly, but I always kind of fancied the spider form. I did play it, but I think I got to level 50 or something. A spider vampire sounds like it might be quite fun, but I also thought it might be quite fun to play like a vampire with a pet, but you've got to kind of try and find the right pet that fits in with the theme, kind of thing, you know. I'm not sure if they did. I always hoped they'd had more pets. Like you can't have spiders as pets, I don't think, and it always seemed like a bit of a role play miss, you know. 4 AM. I wonder what time I start taking damage. Probably 6 AM, I think, is it, this morning? I guess that these would be under. So I think that is must be the crypt. So we've got to go. Oops. God damn it. So for this quest, we've got to go to. And the crypt, I think that mob is. I think I've done this dungeon a lot before. There might be some newbies in there, so I can just go to where I need to get to. This game now does have some really interesting design for the zones. Really cool. Like the fairy realm's really cool. I was there the other day, but I couldn't afford to train my skills. So yeah. Like I like this. I mean, you get this. You see this, isn't it? I mean, EverQuest has got this right. Like I think it's in Everfrost, isn't it? Where you got the giant statue and some other areas coming out of the ground, but it's pretty cool. It's a long way to the crypt, but I've got 2 hours. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't know how people feel about classes with restrictions, and if you would just outright avoid them, or I think it's fine as long as that you're aware, as long as the game makes you aware in some way of what you're in for, you know. So unlocking Wolf, unlocking Vampire was essentially the only reason I came back to the game. So I'll probably level it up a bit as well and see how it goes. See if I want to carry on leveling it up and stuff, and try and pair it with some other things maybe. I don't know. I would say that for all that I've moaned about the game though, like if you're looking for a very, very detailed MMORPG with loads of brilliant, unique ideas, but some ideas that are just terrible, but you just want to live in a game and spend all your time playing it, then this has got a lot for someone like that, definitely. I didn't realise I seem to have started streaming so late today. I've got to I'm making a casserole today. I think this has changed slightly since the last time I was here. I don't think this big wizard dude was as prominent. I don't think these things are as big as they are. The game also nails what we were talking about the other day with City of Heroes. If you want to be certain classes, then like the travelling in the game's really cool. You get mounts as well, and I've got the druid skill unlocked. It takes a little bit of doing, and the druid skill you can turn into different birds. I think I've got a raven form and a duck form, but they don't overwrite bat form. So yeah, so you can get flying forms as well. You don't have to be a bat. So I think this is the crypt where the first quest is. I mean, it's like the newbie zone. So I want to try and keep out of the way of newbies. I don't remember where the quest mob is. Right, okay. I guess we'll probably stick with it. I could start leveling. So there's this thing when you get a new skill, and that thing is that Yes, okay. You can only use skills up to a certain level when you're leveling a new skill, essentially. So you can't use a level, you know, you can't go around killing. Well, I think the one of the few things with that is animal handling. But it depends on who the pet is. Okay, so I can still summon Fizz and use him. I can use you can use a high level skill to level a lower one, is what I'm trying to say, but you can't use the skills. You can't use your level 70 skills or whatever that I've got. You've got to like right, let's have a look. I can see I've put spider here because I think that's where the spider trainer is, or one of them, or there's a spider there. So we probably need to explore the dungeon to look for the boss that I'm looking for. Let's have a quick look at the quests again. So we need to find... I'm sure Kirilek has been there. I'm sure I've killed Kirilek before. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Sorry guys, I'm slightly distracted because I'm just thinking, like, what do I do? So let's just explore the zone and try and find those. I don't think there's any way really of me avoiding... I don't like killing mobs in a newbie zone and getting in the way of the, you know, the peeps. But I guess it's kind of unavoidable. Got a new ability, I guess. New vampire ability. I'll leave those someone else to loot, I think, maybe. I don't think he's round here, but let's go down this way. Stop killing things, Fizz. I'm sorry, lady, there. I'm honestly not kill stealing you. I'm just trying to get to a place. I don't know what happened there. I think Fizz has run off. Decided to kill stuff. You kill it, that's it. I'm honestly not kill stealing. So this is kind of the situation I don't like being in. I don't like playing around newbies because I don't want to be in the way. But I'm quite happy just for that to let. Let's just send a low nearby chat. Not that he probably cares. Oh shit. These Drink your enemy. I love some of the animations for the abilities. I love the sound effects as well. Look at this one where you teleport towards it. Look. Boom. Woohoo. I think this is very well designed. I'm going to leave these mobs. They're quite challenging actually, because it's lowered my animal handle. It's lowered my pet down to very low. Oh man. Okay. You're going to pull a load of mobs and die, aren't you? I'd much rather you came back this way. No, you decided to go that way. Okay, fair enough. Like, I actually kind of want you to come this way. No, but you're just going to die because you're an idiot. Okay. Do you know what? I'm not. It's just, what am I doing? I can level vampire up any time. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let's just go ham on this shit. I just can't be doing with it. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm making it harder for myself, and probably making it quite unpleasant for you to watch. So let's stop fucking around and get this done, I reckon. Maybe we can kill some bosses as well. I don't know what's in here. These chests have just kind of generally got like loot in, low level loot, or kind of, you know, loot level for the respective, you know. Now I kind of feel bad. Killing mobs, but I don't think that any of those. Oh, actually, the guy's following me up. Okay. I don't think the boss is there. We can kill the nameless guardian. Okay, what we got in here? Ice wizards. This is not the dude, I don't think. Oh, he said guardian, maybe. Oh, maybe it is. It might be. Okay. Kill the wizards first, Viz. That's it. They put a load of aggro, those pets. Okay, what did he drop? Okay. Prayer bowl statue. I don't know what these do. So maybe this wasn't the boss. Okay, so let's move on. I don't think it's around there either. I think it must be around the other side. It's a shame that you can't just run past mobs, you know, that are clearly about 50 levels lower than you are, without having to kill them, but it is what it is. Does anyone else get paranoid about being in a low-level dungeon when you're high level? Just I just don't want the drama. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this was one of the early dungeons, obviously, and it's quite basically designed. It's quite basic in its design. I think later dungeons are definitely better. I like it though. I like the architecture. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what the hell was happening when I was typing, when I was creating these notes. But it's like the first letter is in lowercase for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, that was a waste of bats. Yeah, there you go. Where is that? A portal. Okay, well. The explosive trap alerted the other explosive traps. Oh, it doesn't like me because I'm a bat, I guess. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. There's a place that I don't know where that leads to. Looks like a sewer, but there's a little. Some of the dungeons are quite nice because they have like little connections with other zones as well, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's up here. I'm not sure if you can hear it very well, but the sound effects for the skeleton, for the vampire. What is it taking Fizz so long to kill? For the vampire skills, really cool. I like the animations as well. I'm feeling quite up to having a little leveling session for. That might be it. Hello. That was Ursula. Okay. Okay, well that wasn't it. That was Ursula. Another cool idea here where another cool idea here where I think if you die to Ursula, I think her curse is that I think there's a thing with Ursula where depending on what level of necromancy you've got, she kind of keeps turning up. I think the curse is she keeps turning up trying to kill you. Like every now and again, she turns up and tries to kill you. It's quite funny. It's quite a funny curse, that one. But it is like a low level, I guess, so. I think after some years, I might finally give up my bat form. I'll keep it for a bit, but I was kind of thinking about like a, I wonder if you can get like a robe skin, with a black robe, a black hood, like go full on like vampire kind of thing. Sorry, dude, I'm just passing through. Didn't mean to kill your mob. Okay. There's a section up here that is separate. So maybe I should have gone through that portal down there and it would take me up to there. I'm not sure if the actual boss is up here though. So let's not get in that guy's way. Oh, here we go. Oh, he is here, yeah. Or maybe it's... I can't remember with the story with Kirillek, obviously. I don't know if it's the real Kirillek or whatever. There are some guards as well. I remember now. Yeah, like a massive rhino. What sense does that make? I'm not sure. That's it, boys. You deal with this dude. I think the pet's getting knocked back there. That might be the problem. Ah, so a portal has opened. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay. I wasn't sure if... I tried to loot him, but obviously that was stupid. Obviously. Yeah, there's some skills also that you kind of locked out of when you're a bat. So there's also a skill that I quite fancied unlocking at some point that I haven't yet, called weather witching. I like the sound of some of the skills. I don't think it's a particularly powerful combat skill, but I was kind of thinking like a witch vampire might be quite funny. I wonder if I take more. I wonder if I take more damage as a vampire from fire. We might have to go back around, maybe. I'm on fire a lot, that is for sure. Fizz just laughs at the fire, though. I might have to go around and kill Kirillek again, because I don't know. Little boss here. I've seen people buying spiders' webs quite a lot recently. I'm not quite sure. Might as well take this level 30 stuff. Okay, let's go around this way first. Oh. Oh, someone's been this way. Got overloaded. Yeah, I think I've mucked up here. Not really, because I'm having a good time. But I think... I'm on fire again. I think... super spider. See, if you could tame the spider, that'd be cool. Have a spider pet. They need to include spider pets. They included bees, but to the top of the crypt. What does that mean? Okay, let's see what these dudes drop. More spider webs. Fair enough. I could probably just sell this stuff. To the top of the crypt. I wonder if that's a teleport back. I just need to go down and check the bottom section. And I might have to get exit and come round again. And I shouldn't have killed. I think when Kirillik dies, he spawns a teleporter, and I just randomly click near him, and unfortunately, we got the teleporter. There isn't anyone here. That's why I'm not burying the corpses particularly. If you bury the corpses, monsters spawn quicker. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is who I need to kill. His true form. Ooh, it's pretty hard, quite a bit harder than the... He's nearly dead. He's not going to get that. Please come and kill him, will you, for God's sake? Loads of Ursulas have spawned. I don't think I've got the Ursula curse. We'll have to see. Right. Let's check the quest notes again, shall we? Seek a lich named Kirillik. I've killed him twice. Had a planar guide, which I need. It will be hidden in a trove of artifacts. In her sleeping quarters. Okay. So that might be around the corner there. There is something around the corner. I'm not quite sure what it is, though. Is there someone coming up here? That'd be cool. I can hear someone fighting. There's a little room around here, which I seem to remember there being something going on. Oh. Liferax is the guy who stole the lens that I had to clear out my money to buy. I won't kill you. Okay. Rummage through the thing and find a notebook. Okay. That's what we need. So touch the rune. Liferax has appeared. It hasn't attacked us, which is good. I wonder how he's tied up in it all, the Manticore dude. That'd be interesting. Okay, so that's first quest done. It's 10 AM, so I've got to get to. What level was that guy? I don't think he could have killed. Oh no, he probably could have done. I've got to get to Eltubule now, but it'd be interesting to see what happens in the sun. Do we die or not? I think for this curse, which I think the worst bit about the curse is that I've got like my run speed is like 33% less, which is, you know. I should have checked out the painting list, shouldn't I? Should we go back and have a quick look? Let's have it on trade. Trade seems to be the less obnoxious of the chat chat rooms. It's interesting also the dynamic. I was talking about a bit earlier, like the dynamic of loads of new players coming in who just have different, just have different takes and opinions on the game that they've just started playing and stuff, and how that conflicts with the veteran players. I mean, if it was me and I was a veteran player who really cared about the game, I'd probably keep my mouth shut for the most part, because I just think ultimately it's going to put people off. Are these just paintings you can collect for there's also lots of weird skills as well. That are quite interesting. Art history, you can level up, and it gives you +1 to Bard and other things. Last time I was playing, I played Bard for a bit, got to level 62, but didn't really. Bard Vampire. You see, we can give a vampire who goes around singing to maidens to charm them, then drink their blood. That's a role playing. Yeah. So I think I can appraise it to increase. A mass-produced replica of Sherrig's Avalia, tacky and somewhat low quality. 2 Avalias. Is there going to be 3? Yes. Oh, Shieldbreaker's Lament. A portrait of a red road mage with a trained battle rat. The mage is crying over a mug of spilled beer. There are no shields present in the picture. The game's actually quite. It's actually got some. It's quite amusing as well. Some of the writing in the game. Okay, so we've done that quest. The Elzebul one again. The Elzebul's a bit of a slightly harder dungeon, but it shouldn't really be a problem. Those sheep are a pain in the arse. I remember those from before. Absolute pain in the arse. I can probably just teleport out of here, but maybe not. Oh, I think Fizz one-shotted a sheep there before it even had a chance. Well done, fella. Anything with a regeneration, because there's different levels of regeneration. These guys have got extreme regeneration. Anything with regeneration when you're a lowbie is such a pain in the arse to kill. I tried it out once. It was kind of like a mob where I just couldn't do quick enough damage to kill it, but I stayed there for about 10 minutes trying to do it. It didn't work out very well. This is where the teleport was, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, bloody shit, hiding around a corner. Oh, leveled up in arthropod genetics. Can't be bad. Okay, so we are at the entrance again. Cool. Right, let's see what happens when we go outside in the sun. Does our blood count go down first? Or do we just take damage straight away? My blood is going down very quickly, but I'm not taking any damage. Okay, so it looks as though, yeah. So the mechanic that I need to think about is keeping blood going, which I think it drops from mobs, but when I saw people talking, it seemed as though the mobs. It's certain mobs on a daily basis. I don't know. I'm going to have to research that, I think. It doesn't tell you on the wiki. Yes. Okay, so I need to look into that a bit more. So, I guess there's probably no one in the chat who's familiar with vampire, but I wonder if you take damage if you're in a building. That is something that I need to find out. I would say, because you lose blood pretty quickly, even though it gave me a nice healthy stock to start off with. You lose it very quickly. So I need to think about that. That's a quest item that we'll put somewhere safe. I'm just looking at the wiki. Okay, so Truxartis is my trainer up to level 70. That's fine. That's not a problem. I know where he is. There's something about accessing the safe house quest, but there's nothing on the wiki about that. I wonder if that happens when I get more favour with the dude. There's nothing about blood on here, so yeah, so the wiki doesn't really have much going on with regards to that kind of thing. So I'll need to research that. Where's my blood vials? I'm going to put those somewhere safe as well. I don't want to waste the blood. So if I try and zoom to Serbial and go in a building, there is a little dungeony thing in Serbial, I think. I think it's PvP though, maybe. I can't remember. Let's have a look. So I wonder if I can go into the just go into the market, which is covered. So I'm just out of the. I guess I need to just test it, don't I? Really? So I'm out of the sun. See if that works. Serbial is quite away from the crypt as the bat flies. If things go tits up, then there are a couple of other dungeons nearby that I can run to. Ball Killed will be one of those. I love that dungeon. That's my favourite dungeon. I'll probably go there and level up vampirism. I love that dungeon. It's just like an undead crypt with a story behind it and stuff. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is we'll just test it. If you die, you die. You know, I mean, I at this point, I'm assuming I'm not going to lose vampirism if I die or something. So if I die, I die. We've just got to test it out. The blood thing's interesting. Like it would be, I think it would be cooler if I could just drink off of like humanoid mobs or something. That would probably make it a bit more palatable. But I don't mind having to kill mobs to get the blood if it's, you know, there are certain things that, like for other classes, there are certain things you need to know, and you find out those things essentially by using a little what are they called? just using a skill, basically, like some lore, and it tells you stuff. So no, that was interesting. No, it felt as though my blood stopped going down there. I'm not sure if it was because I came out of the sun or not, but we'll get to the town, see what happens. I think I'm gonna have to farm some cash because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of the curse without using a minor panacea, I think. So I might have to buy one. I think they're about 20k or something. I mean, I've got 20k, but that's literally all I've got. I gave all of my cash to the person who sold the lens. I think the character's name was Evelyn, so thank you. I've been looking for the lens for a few days. I mean, you cleared me out, but, you know, and you probably won't watch this, but fair enough. I think I started off with about 90 blood, so roughly half of... I've lost roughly half of my blood. It's going to be more than that, actually, by the time we get to town. Getting to town. I'm going to crash again. I wonder how aggressive the health loss is when you run out of blood. That's all stuff that I need to test. Just so if I get caught, you know, I haven't got my travelling gear on as well, which is stupid because I'm moving slower than I need to be. I need to test it out as well. So if I get caught outside, how much damage is it going to do? Let's go to here. If I get underneath here and the sun's still killing me, then I think I'm probably going to die because I don't want to use up all my blood. Okay. Wow, that's good. That's good. It's not being an absolute bastard for once. Like I can exist indoors under a roof without dying. That's pretty cool. I've got a little stall set up as well. I've made 6,000 councils. Okay. I wonder what's sold. Oh, saltpeter, yeah. I saw a lot of people moaning about that. There's not a lot of it around. I didn't realise that I kind of called my shop Super Bits and Bobs, obviously, but then I saw next door there's someone else with a Bits and Bobs shop, and I was a bit like, I think that's a bit obnoxious as well, that capital, isn't it? Let's not be obnoxious. I think, you know what, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna nick your name. Super Bites and Bobs. There you go. Excellent. And this was the trader that I bought the lens from. Okay, so I'm currently liking the idea of planning things around the sun. It's kind of like spend the day in dungeons killing stuff, and then yeah, and then spend the evening doing your chores and stuff. The cities don't close, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because I'm making a casserole for dinner today, so I'll go and start that. But we've done the vampire anyway. We kind of roughly know how it works. Blood protection from taking damage during the day, but it runs out very quickly. You start off with a stock of it, but I need to work out how to get more, what mobs to kill, etc., whatever it may be. I've got a recipe as well, didn't I? But I know that already. I think I'll keep the spider's webs, maybe. Sell the other stuff. Yeah, that's it. I will probably stream again next week. I'm actually, I think I'm home alone on Sunday, so maybe I'll stream on Sunday. Just let you know how I'm getting on. Because I spent some time leveling up the skill. He didn't seem to have any. Let's have a look. He didn't seem to have any skills to buy that were under level 50. And he's the 1 to 70 trainer, so I'm going to assume that this stuff just unlocks as you level up. I don't need to buy it. This would be a good skill. So say, I'm not sure if I've got one. Spilling their blood. It would be good if you had an attack that generated blood in some way. That would be quite good. I don't think it does though. Just a damage, just damage. Okay, everyone, that's it. I'm going to go make the casserole. And I'll speak to you all again soon, probably Sunday, because I said I'm home alone. So I'll probably stream a bit on Sunday. See you later.